Well, welcome to the Virtual College Exploration Fair for Missouri students. This is sponsored by the Missouri Association for College Admission Counseling and by StriveScan. We thank you for joining us today. I do have a few housekeeping items that I want to go over before we get started. Students, you may use the Q&A button found on your screen to ask the questions that you have to our presenters at any time. So use that Q&A function. Your camera and microphone will be off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. This is just one of many different sessions that are taking place, and we do encourage you to check out the full slate of sessions, and you can find them at MOACAC.org. Now, this presentation is being recorded, and it will be available for you to view within about a week, and you can find it on that same website, MOACAC.org. At this time, I want to turn it over to our presenters.
Thank you very much, Jamie, and welcome everybody to the presentation this evening. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. All right. And there we go. So my name is Michael Grzeski. I am the St. Louis Regional Admissions Counselor for Western Illinois University. So I work with students all from the St. Louis metro area, of course, on the Missouri side, and just across the river on the Illinois side as well. Also joining me tonight is my colleague and coworker, Katie. And Katie, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. My name is Katie Gorsuch, and I am an admissions counselor based in Macomb at our main campus, and I serve students in the Northeast Missouri area.
Excellent, great. We do have some others that are joining us this evening, and they will be, of course, introducing themselves when we get to the end of this very short presentation. A couple of current students at Western Illinois University that are from the St. Louis metro area, as well as also a current recent graduate of Western Illinois University that will be joining us as well to answer any questions. So let's go ahead for the sake of time and we will get started. Unique things about Western Illinois University. First off, I mean, we have two unique campuses at a great university. Of course, the first one here is the Macomb campus that is pictured here above. The Macomb campus houses all 60 plus of our undergraduate majors. Of course, with these undergraduate majors and being offered there, we also have all of our residence halls offered on the Macomb campus. It is just a little over 3 hours northeast of St. Louis, depending upon what area of the metro that you're driving from. And also, too, we have our Quad Cities campus, which is just pictured below. That is actually about 4 hours just northeast of St. Louis. And the Quad Cities campus does not have any residence halls on campus. So if you are studying there, you and a group of students could find a nearby house to rent together, or you can, of course, find an apartment complex and get your own apartment. Another thing to keep in mind, too, is that there are 20 majors that are offered of our 60-plus majors at the Quad Cities campus. And also, if you are going to be pursuing engineering at Western Illinois University, you will have to take your junior and senior year coursework at the Quad Cities campus. So a student could either decide to start off at the Macomb campus, do their first 2 years, get that traditional residential hall living arrangement feel, and then transfer to Quad Cities for the last 2 years, or they could choose to do all 4 years at the Quad Cities campus for engineering if they wanted to. Now, oh, excuse me, sorry, I hit that. And I also wanted to highlight too, is that we have 7,600 students that are on campus, both campuses for Western Illinois University. We actually had a 19% increase in our enrollment this year. So we're very excited about that. And the retention rate just over 75%. So we're very excited about those things as well for Western Illinois University. And again, too, as I mentioned earlier, 60-plus majors to take a look at. And if you're really looking for a mid-sized state university, you can see with the total enrollment numbers, as well as to the fact that we have an average class size of 18 students and a student-faculty ratio to 13:1. So you're really going to get to know your professors well and get to know your your colleagues, your students very well, too. So a great opportunity for you at Western Illinois University. Now, of course, next up is looking at the academics as a part of Western Illinois University, the main reason that you're going to college, right? And there's, of course, the link to check out all of our academics after this presentation. Of course, no surprise within our university, it's divided into 4 colleges. And I'm going to go through just a couple of top majors for all of these schools. So within the College of Arts and Sciences with Western Illinois University, psychology is one of our popular majors within the College of Arts and Sciences. It's actually the second most popular major at Western Illinois University. We offer general psychology, which is your basic foundational study of human behavior, and also forensic psychology, which is the study of human behavior within the criminal justice system. Also, our Earth, Atmospheric, and Geographic Info Sciences department has our meteorology program, which is very popular and it's highly looked upon. The reason why is you have state-of-the-art equipment to study and to use as a student at Western Illinois for meteorology. And one fun fact is that we're one of the first universities in the country, especially within this region, to have its own weather radar system and Doppler system. So students are very well prepared for their internships and for getting jobs straight out of WIU, whether it's with the National Weather Service or being on-air talent as a meteorologist. Next up on the list is the College of Education and Human Services. Within there, we have our most popular major at Western Illinois University, which is our School of Law Enforcement and Justice Administration. It's actually a top 5 program at Western, in the country, excuse me, but also a top program at Western Illinois. And one of the reasons why that is faculty tells us a lot of hands-on training with the students. It's not just all theory-based. You have professors that have been in that area for working either at the federal, local, or state level for many years and are now teaching it to students, to the next generation that is going to be going into that field. So that is why it's considered and highly looked upon as a great program. Also within the Justice Administration, you can pursue a Bachelor of Science in Emergency Management, also a Bachelor of Science in Fire Protection Services, which that includes either administration or fire science. And these are classes within that program that are actually developed by firefighters, even retired firefighters who have been in the field and now are designing this program to meet the needs to prepare students to go into that field. Of course, we were founded as a teacher's school, so therefore any of our education programs too are highly looked upon by students that are going to be studying at Western Illinois University. Our College of Business and Technology. One of our many integrated programs is housed within here, our accountancy programs. So if you're studying to be an accountant, you can do it, of course, in 4 years and get your bachelor's degree. But also if you choose the integrated option, you can actually in 5 years get your bachelor's and master's degree in accounting. We also have one of the highest CPA pass rates in the state of Illinois for our accountancy students. So you'll have that certified public accountant preparation done and be ready to go to take that test and have your bachelor's, your master's degree in accountancy. Also agriculture, which is within this college, very popular at Western. We have, of course, our own farm, which is run by students, agricultural shows ran by students, which are some of the largest in the nation. Our engineering programs, we offer mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, civil engineering, also engineering technology, which some students don't know what that really means. Think of an engineering technologist as a test pilot for something that is developed by an engineer, whether it be a machine or some sort of product, right? But they then take a look at it to decide if there's any modifications needed. And last but not least, supply chain management, which has a high job placement rate and is crucial to any business for going up and down the change management system in order to make sure things need to get to point A to point B to point C and keep the business running and keep the flow going. Also next up on the list is our College of Fine Arts and Communication. Within there, our broadcasting and journalism program, very popular, very strong at Western Illinois University. Of course, within that program, you can look at our advertising or public relations route. Also, our multimedia journalism route, which these days, of course, you know, we get our news from TV, radio, podcasts, all those different platforms. Of course, if you want to be behind the scenes in broadcasting and journalism, you can look at our production route. And then last but not least, of course, if you're looking at actual broadcasting, being that on-air talent, whether it's TV journalism or maybe sports broadcasting. What's really cool is we have an ESPN3 platform that our sports broadcasting works off of. So during some of our athletic broadcasts, students are able to work in the trucks if they want to be on the production side, of course, being the on-air talent as well. Speech pathology is also very popular at Western, as we have our own speech pathology clinic on campus that serves the Macomb area, on the Macomb campus. So students get a lot of hands-on training there. And then also we are very popular with music and theater. In music, we offer performance-based, we offer music business, music education for teacher certification, jazz studies, and also music composition. And then in theater, we have a Bachelor of Arts in Theater, Performance, Production and Design, and also to a Bachelor of Fine Arts in Musical Theater as well. So lots of interesting things going on as far as academics, and that's not all of them. It's just the tip of the iceberg. As far as campus involvement goes, lots of things that we have to do on campus at Western. As you can see over 250 plus student organizations. Our Purple Post, which is a great web page to use on our website to see basically what can I get involved in on campus. Also, too, what other events are going on campus I can attend. And you can even track and show what you've been attending to kind of brag on yourself, and also show the university how much you're involved in on campus. You know, the student organizations, anything from personal interest groups to things such as student government. Also, too, if you're interested in Greek life, we actually have 11 interfraternity councils, 6 Pan-Hellenic councils, and also 10 United Greek councils. So Greek life has its presence on campus as well. If you're looking to have a job on campus and maybe get a little bit of extra pocket money on the side, of course, we have over 2,500 jobs on campus to take a look at. And we are a Division I school, so supporting our Leathernecks, you can do that for free to any of the events, sporting events on campus throughout the year. As you can see, we have 19 athletic teams to take a look at. So plenty to do on campus as a Western Illinois University student. As far as applying, well, you can go on to wiu.edu/apply today and apply online. However, though, I want you to keep in mind that if you hold off and apply in October, it will be free the whole month of October. Right now, there is a $30 application fee for that application to be processed, but it's free the whole month of October. You apply online, and then you can self-report your GPA or send in an official transcript. We are test optional, but we will accept your test scores. A 2.75 or higher GPA and a 4.0 scale will get you automatically accepted to Western Illinois. However, though, if you do have below a 2.75 at a 2.0 to 2.74, I or Katie would be contacting you that we may need additional materials such as an official high school transcript, and also a letter of recommendation from a high school counselor or a teacher that knows you well, and then also possibly a personal statement. Maybe you're going to go the transfer route. Well, we are very transfer friendly, offering transfer scholarships, and also at a 2.0 or higher GPA for a transfer student can get you automatically accepted. Also, we like to highlight at the bottom there our transfer admission guarantee program. This is specifically designed for community college students. So if you're going to a community college, but you know you're going to transfer to WIU, if you apply to this program, you enter in, you're going to get constant contact with our transfer counseling staff to make sure you're up to date on your courses, and that you're going to have seamless transition into WIU once you're done with those courses. So that way you know that all those courses transfer and that you're only going to have 2 years left before you have that bachelor's degree at WIU. As far as costs go, right now, as you can see for the 2021 school year, tuition, fees, room and meal plan, if you add all that up, and then of course times it over 2 semesters, you get just under $22,000 for the year. Good news, we offer in-state tuition for Missouri students, so you're looking at the same dollar amount you would pay for if you were a currently enrolled incoming freshman this year. Another thing I want to point out is at the bottom there in those bold white letters, 4-year cost guarantee. So what that means is for students that are currently freshmen at Western Illinois University, is this is the amount they're going to pay each year for 4 years. And I think that's a load off students' mind because they don't have to worry about any sort of tuition increases and factor that in over 4 years as you do at other institutions. So you can really use time, not have to use as much time to budget each year. You can say, okay, this is what I'm looking at for 4 years. As far as scholarship opportunities goes, you can see this list represents lots of them. When you apply to Western Illinois University, you're automatically reviewed for our Western Commitment Scholarship. Those scholarships are valued from $3,000 to $8,000 per academic year. Great news, if you apply from the St. Louis metro area, you automatically apply for are awarded our St. Louis Leatherneck Scholarship. That St. Louis Leatherneck Scholarship is valued at $1,000 per academic year just for applying from the St. Louis metro area. If you're a transfer student, we do have transfer commitment scholarships valued at $2,500 per year over 2 years. And if you decide to do a visit on campus, we are doing on-campus visits, or do a virtual admissions presentation during the week, or meet with me one-on-one like this over Zoom, you would get a $1,000 scholarship, which is only good for freshman year. If you have alumni in your family and you indicate that on the application, you can apply, qualify for our Alumni Legacy Scholarship, which is valued at $1,500 per academic year. And also we have foundation scholarships, which you can learn more about those at the link that is down below. And those have certain deadlines that you have to apply to and certain criteria, so make sure to pay attention to all that. And also, too, if you are declaring your major when applying, you can look for departmental scholarships as well. And I would highly recommend looking for those, of course, after you've been accepted to Western Illinois University. So many different scholarship opportunities to make it very affordable to attend Western and to get a high-quality education. Yes, please visit campus. That's a big part of the college decision process. We offer virtual info sessions through our admissions office daily, several times throughout the day during the week, and also sometimes in the evening. So please check that out. We do offer on-campus tours. We offer several throughout the day, each day of the week. We are, because of COVID, making it smaller groups, one family at a time. So make sure that you start to look now to think about what day is going to work for you. We also have academic department events coming up, open houses. You may be seeing some more emails coming from me or from Katie about those events. And also, if you're on campus, you can request to meet with an academic department. Of course, one-on-one appointments with either Katie or myself over Zoom to talk with us if you have any additional questions. And of course, there is the link to check out more information on that. And last but not least, of course, is to please stay connected with us. All of the social media outlets that we can think of to be on, please connect with us there to stay up to date with what's going on campus at Western Illinois University. So I know a lot of information in a little bit of time, but thank you for staying with me. We're going to take a little break from me right now, and I want to just show you real quick a quick video about Western Illinois University.
Rooted in teaching tradition, the desire to impact lives through education marks our Western identity. We believe every student with the hope to succeed deserves a chance at our institution. We're invested in honing each student's individual strengths to turn that hope into promise. Our commitment shows in everything that we do. It guides our faculty with empathy. It grows our students with courage. It moves each of us with purpose. In Macomb and Quad Cities, all walks of life meet to share cultures, ideas, and aspirations. Together, our students welcome new perspectives, helping them bring true value wherever they go next. Whatever the next challenge or change we face, our fighting spirit strengthens and evolves. With fortitude, we remain devoted to our vision. Brave and loyal, we stand as Leathernecks. For our students, for our region, for our state, and beyond. And when we stand together, we stand up for what matters, going forth as one. And that unity takes us far beyond what we've ever imagined.
All right, whoops, gonna stop that there. So we will go ahead and stop sharing at this point. A lot of information I know that's been given to you, but now we are going to open up the remainder of time that we have until 6:45 to see if any of you have any questions. So I'm going to let the students that have joined us this evening that are from the St. Louis area and are currently, Devin is of course at Western, and the other person, he is not Kate. I want to apologize about that. He just wasn't able to change his screen name in time, but they will both go ahead and introduce themselves, and then we'll go from there. So go ahead, gentlemen. I will mute myself.
Okay, yeah, I'll go for it. So I'm Devin Brooks. I'm a senior here at WIU. I'm from the St. Louis area. Grew up and born in St. Louis. I would say I first heard about Western whenever they came to my high school, which is McKinley High School in South St. Louis. And a bus tour came to the school and brought us up to Macomb here at WIU. And from there, I was just hooked on seeing the broadcast studio and everything that they had to offer at the time. And I just knew that right away I could get involved. From day one, it has been that. So I continue to enjoy myself. And of course, I'm just trying to finish my senior year off strong. But from that point forward, I knew that WIU was going to be the school that I was going to be with for the next 4 years. So, and I've enjoyed it.
Make sure to unmute yourself.
There we go. To piggyback off what Devin said, I found this. I just graduated, graduate of May 2020, so that was a pretty fun event. Very good. Again, a COVID graduation. It was actually pretty decent. Some people didn't even get to celebrate or anything. And Western did a really good job of doing a good kind of graduation video presentation and things. So that was very neat. But no, I found, I think it was end of the fall semester, my senior year, I found Western in high school. They kind of came to my high school for more of it was like a recruitment thing for sports. And then it ended up that I found Dr. Buzz Hoon, and he kind of got me into the broadcasting department, and they kind of went from there where the academics took a little more precedence. And I went from there. So Devin and I actually worked quite a bit together. We were both broadcasting majors, so we spent many hours together doing different things, and we kind of have similar stories. That's why, like, he said kind of the hands-on aspect, got involved right away and stuff. So that was a big thing for me, was I saw the opportunity to, I could do ESPN3. I did that my sophomore year. I did the news broadcasting. He and I were both actually, he beat me on my record of being a freshman news anchor, and he beat me by a semester. So that was actually a very cool situation, and good job to Devin. So it's just one of those things, we got in right away, and we took off, hitting the ground running. So it was very cool. But yeah, we can open up to questions and different things.
Thank you both for introducing yourselves. Does anyone have questions right now? So if you want to type them in the box, we can go ahead and answer those. Then I can throw out some questions for you all as well. And then you can whoever wants to jump in, just jump in to kind of get the conversation started. So can each of you tell us a little bit about what was your favorite thing about Western, whether it was like academics with your major or the extracurriculars you were involved with, or you are involved with, Devin?
Yeah, right. I would just say, basically, it was that I could get involved from the time that I stepped foot on the department's floor in broadcasting. That's what really drew me in, because other institutions, you kind of have to wait maybe to your junior or your senior year, and then you can actually get in the studio and do things, or, but it's a hands-on department. So that's what I really, 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 drew me in. And from that point forward, I knew that it was just consistency. I was able to pick up the equipment. I was able to go out, do my work and bring it back, sit down with my news director. We put it together, and then even go on different trips to news conferences and different competitions that you can show your work off for. So from that point forward, I just knew that it was just up from there. And that's, I've only had great things. As I was saying, Nick and I, we would spend a lot of times, even during my freshman year, in his dorm trying to work on different projects and whatnot. So Nick was like,
yeah, it was good. Did I lose audio? I might have lost audio. But yeah, kind of going off that again. Yeah, we spent many hours together, and it was cool because it was one of those things, that the connections that were made in that time. That's kind of what I was going to touch on. That the academics was one thing, and then the extracurriculars really complemented the academics. So there was no lag or anything like that. So we were able to get in, and what I learned in the classroom, I could go and apply that night when I did. I was covering a story or doing a weekend report or something like that. They complemented each other very well. I'm in a totally different, I'm in sales now, so it kind of piggybacked off what we did then. But the biggest thing was I got out and I made connections with, very important people and influential people in not only at Western, but in the area. So that's stuff that I've taken with me. So not only what I learned in my education and doing the video editing and, proposing questions and doing different things, but now it's like, I'm actually, when I meet somebody new, I'm kind of going through the same stuff that Western taught me and how to handle different situations and stuff like that. So you're not only getting the academic and the textbook side, but everything's complemented, with everything that you do activity wise and things like that. So.
Awesome. Well, thank you both. Can you talk a little bit more about some of the extracurricular opportunities? I know you're both pretty involved on campus. Can you share a little bit about those and kind of the student life part of being at Western?
Yeah, I would say whenever my freshman year, I was looking at all of the options that there were, because at the time I wasn't really sure what I wanted to get involved in or what I wanted to do, but just tons and tons of different groups and organizations that, of course, you can be a part of. In particular, the ones that I have basically spent my time with are involved in around the Department of Broadcasting and Journalism. And a lot of those groups, not only do we do community service and we're doing things on campus and off campus, but also within our own team of our own department. So hosting different conventions that we can actually learn and grow from professionals that are in the world now. And then there's also other times that we maybe sit and watch some type of video or do a Zoom or a Skype chat with professionals. That way they can talk to us and give us advice and we can ask questions. So there's a few different groups that we actually have, and we also go from around the state to even around the country throughout the year for our different competitions and conventions. And of course, those are always fun times whenever we get to do that. So, yeah.
Yeah. So some of the stuff I did more broadcasting related. Everything I did, I'd kind of go through, certain positions and different things. But I did everything from like News 3. I did ESPN 3. I was on the Dog. I covered football for both of those. Did other things like the Outdoorsman's Club. We were hunting and fishing different things. I was in the scuba club for several semesters with that and got certified. I'm trying to think of the other thing. There's been a whole bunch. We started the Boundless Communications, which was a public relations and advertising club. That was my major then at that point. So we hosted that. There's just many different things. I did the MMA club for like a year and a half. And it was, I saw a lot of different opportunities and different things that I like, and I have many different interests. And I always want to be like, hey, what's it take to do this and that? And being around people that, like the hobbies, like the activities. That was very neat. Some of the stuff that we did in broadcasting, that took up a majority of it and really taught me the most. Like we went, I don't know, did you do the Newark, New Jersey trip? We stayed out in Meadowland. I don't remember what year that was.
Right. I wasn't on that one, but I know you all did go to New York.
Yeah,
right?
We did a New York trip. We did several trips around the state of Illinois. So we were in the national NBA. Or no, what is it? I'm forgetting it now. But it's a national. NABJ.
Yeah, Broadcasting Society. Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. And then INBA, which was Illinois. So there's a lot of those that we did, even a lot of networking. And that's kind of more of a specific example. Like we did the one, we went to Champaign, Illinois and stayed there with a bunch of other Illinois schools and Illinois broadcasters and stuff. And just meeting that, like I was meeting people that were on, WGN News and stuff downtown Chicago. And we're just sitting there and, I was a 20-year-old kid, like, oh my God. And they give us their input, got us cards, we emailed, we talked. So there's a lot of good development there too. So that kind of goes hand in hand.
So kind of going off of that, talking about things going on campus, can you share your experiences with campus events going on and those different traditions that take place at Western?
I would say it's always a fun time being at football games. And of course, homecoming is always a big one every year. And I'm sure, that's a lot of times we go out, there's a parade that takes place and, we get pretty creative with that. And then from that point forward, everyone kind of goes about going to the tailgates and things like that. So involved in that every year, that's always a fun time. Also, there's different events just throughout the year that happens. Maybe even like people will bake cookies and that way they can fundraise for their groups. So a lot of times those are good get-togethers and just all kinds of things that's always taking place. You lose track, but most of the time things during the week, also on the weekend.
Might have lost you there.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like my connection.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the truth. You kind of lose track of everything, and thankfully, it's kind of happy and kind of sad at the same time. I'm getting the little memory flashbacks on Facebook and different things and Snapchat, so I'm kind of getting those. And one thing that popped up the other day, and it was like 2 in the afternoon. I was sitting in the office, and it popped up on my timeline, and it was a little it was the what's it called? Rocky After Dark. It's like that first weekend when you move in. And I just remember I was nervous. I just met my roommate. And then, 4 years later, like I'm getting the snap from, it was only like, 12 months ago or whatever, and that guy's like my best friend. We had great roommates, and, those guys were a big clique now. So it's awesome. And seeing how it kind of, we started with not knowing each other, completely new. He was from Chicago, I was from St. Louis, and then how we're brothers now, and it's super cool. That was one thing. So definitely like a Rocky After Dark. One thing that they do pretty early in the semester is they always did the hypnotist. So freshman year, that was a hoot. Sophomore year, there was actually some broadcasting kids that went up there, and that was even funnier. And then I lived off campus for the next 2 years, but we always came back for the hypnotist, and it was just always fun and entertaining. We happened to just run to like Burger King one night in the Union, and the guy was just sitting there by himself. It was like our sophomore year, and he was just sitting there by himself. So me and my roommate John, and he was a broadcasting major, we went up and we just sat down and we started talking with them. We bought him, bought him an extra like soda to go, and we were cutting up with them. So every year after that, we'd see him and we'd say hi, and it was just those little connections that it really wasn't too much, but it was just those little special moments now, like kind of looking back on it. It was kind of cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. So we talked a little bit about like the university and stuff that takes place there. Can you share your experience with the community and the atmosphere in the Macomb surrounding area?
I really enjoy being out in the community. We talk about events. They're always hosting things as well throughout the community. I know there's always a town gown where the community and the school comes together, hosts different events during the beginning of the year. And then they also have all kinds of like food events and different things that's taking place. And they really, really try and reach out to the university, the students here at WIU, in order to get them involved and, be able to participate as well. On a broadcast standpoint as well, I say that we have great communication and great contact with the officials and the community members that are in the community. They really work with us and really understand that we're here to learn. This is how we grow, to be able to talk with them, and this is how we get information out. So they really, really take the time out, and I definitely appreciate that, to be able to work with us and, do our job of what we're trying to do here, whether it be with the news or sports or public relations, whatever it is.
Yeah, one thing that was very fun too that I did my freshman year, and I think I participated in a little bit sophomore year, but I had to go out of town on one night. But it was like the hot air balloon visit. That's a big thing. It's beautiful, and I think that a few came and did a little light show a couple weeks ago.
They did a drive-by one this year.
Yeah, is that what it was? Yeah. So I saw some pictures on Facebook on the Western Facebook, and I saw the memory come up again when I was actually in the balloon. We were flying across and stuff. So there were some neat features. It's like, I think Party on the Square or something, that was a fun one that John and I did one year. I think the other year like rained or something the night we wanted to go. Duke Orsler, he's one of the professors here, and he was actually art professor I had, but he was in a band, so he was one of the performers, so we had to go and see him.
He still
is. Yeah, good. So we got to rock with him a little bit, and we like the same kind of music, so it was fun. But yeah, there's a ton of stuff. And once I got out into the community, I think I kind of had an easier route because we kind of were connected with a lot of people. You weren't just like kind of going out there exploring. But after I met a few people, I kind of mustered up the courage where I just go out and I tried a new restaurant, or I try a new activity, and there's always things all over the community. I mean, even like Spring Lake and Lake Argyle, those are fun. Like you can kind of just disconnect for a little bit and be away from traffic and be away from people. And if you're studying for an exam, like, or go read a book under a tree or grab a guitar or something. So, there's plenty to do in the community, and the way it works together. Someone told me once, it's a communiversity, where the community interacts very well with the university, and each kind of go hand in hand and work very well together. A lot of people in the community are Western peoples and vice versa. So very cool.
Awesome. Well, do any of you have any tips for incoming freshmen or students who may be coming to campus in the next few years or so?
I would just say, don't be afraid to reach out to either teachers or just, making friends or, asking information from your peers, classmates, roommates. I know that the teachers are really helpful, and my teachers in particular, especially those in the broadcasting department, they've been very personable. I can tell that they genuinely care about our future and trying to, give us the tools and the information that we need. So I would just say, don't hesitate to reach out. Of course, you want to, it's easier said than done, but make sure you kind of keep, a hold of what your deadlines are and, have some kind of time management to be sure that you're getting your work done. Especially nowadays where we're really not in the classroom, we're, more so online. So I have to, make myself a to-do list. That way I kind of know when things are due and, when I need to have them done. So those are kind of some tips I would give.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely the same. So stay organized and kind of take time for yourself, and always at least try to walk to class or do something a little active, because it helps. You get cooped up sitting at either your desk or in the classroom and stuff. So it's good to move around a little bit. Be thankful that you're also in school. A lot of people don't get that opportunity, so that was a very cool thing. Sometimes I'd be super stressed out and I kind of sit back and take a deep breath and I'm like, oh, this is okay. This is good stuff to stress about. And it's also helped me kind of get to where I am now too. So, just reflecting on that, that's good. But really it's more, make it your experience, kind of do what Devin said, part of that, making your experience, talk to your professors. I never heard anybody, if they did poorly on a test or weren't doing so hot in a class, and if they were talking and communicating with that professor never let them stranded. And I know people in every single department, from engineering to law enforcement, logistic, or no, it's construction management, all the different ones. There you go. And they, I know some buddies that, they were like, man, this construction management is super hard, or supply chain, that was what it was. And they're like, we don't know what this is. And they started talking and the professor worked with them and ended up, they got like they went from a very low grade to almost an A. So that was a very good turnaround. And they just put, a little work in. Professors are people too, basically. Don't be intimidated. If you're sweating and stuff when you're trying to talk to them, they'll treat you like normal. So just make it your own event and your own time, because if you just kind of go to class, go in your room, you're not going to get much out of it. Soak it up, go out, and the less time you're actually in your dorm room, probably the better. That means you're out doing stuff, you're meeting people, and you're getting experience that the books can. You have to implement what you learn in the books.
That kind of leads me to another question, Nick. So can you talk about some of the supports on campus for both like your academics with your classes, and then also on the other end, career and preparing for like those internship opportunities and life after college?
Yeah. So Career Development Center, that was a big one. We did resume work. In my University 100 class, it kind of got me the parameters of how to get that resume set up and everything to grow. But what happened was, by the end of my senior year, like that resume I had from like that freshman year was very small. And then what I had at the end was like a laundry list of stuff. So it was kind of fine tuning it. So they were able to help me with that. Got the interview process going and stuff. So that was very cool. Life after, it's kind of weird because it was like, I didn't really have a typical end of semester, it was like I left in March for spring break and then I never went back until it was time to move out, but the transition was unique, and seeing what I was able to do, because I didn't spend time, in my dorm room. I was always out doing something or an activity, or, if I was in my room, it was trying to be, tying together what I did, whether it be a homework or an assignment or something. And kind of seeing how scheduling a routine, getting, parameters in for me time. I call it like, wake up every morning, kind of do a workout and just do stuff to kind of distract from the rest of the day and then, get started. So you kind of develop those habits in college, and it's a roller coaster. Like my freshman year was different than my sophomore year, and your schedule changes, but you figure out, okay, I do need this, and this was productive, and okay, let's not do that habit anymore, and figure out folder system per class. I had a folder in each class. So one notebook, very light load, you just figure out little things like that. So it's exactly what I'm doing now. My backpack, one notebook, all folders per client. And, it's the same system I learned then, but it took me till the end of my sophomore year to get that. I had papers everywhere for the first year and a half, and I had no clue what I was doing, but it's been good to kind of see it all connect and come through now. So.
Awesome.
Can
And
I
Devin,
also-
anything to add?
Yeah, can I add on to that? So I've had to go through an English tutor, which is offered here at WIU, and then also the teachers, they have office hours. So there's plenty of times where I have to check their office hours and say, hey, I have a question about this, or hey, I'm having a hard time understanding this subject here. So if you can explain that to me. So that's been very helpful to me. On the internship side, I've been very fortunate to have done 3 summer internships with different news stations around Illinois. And that's been because of my teachers that have been able to reach out and make those contacts and connections. And from there, it's been paid internships and great experience. So those options are also available. It's just really having the contact, who and from, and going from there.
Networking, right?
Yeah, that was a big, we actually had, in the broadcasting department, we had what we called the alumni walls. And if you walked around, Salee, where the broadcasting department is, it's just a big cube basically. So there's like a center, all classrooms, then there's an outer perimeter of classrooms, and along those walls are all alumni. So I connected with many, and like when I joined the Outdoorsman's Club, we had Mike Irvine, who was on the Outdoorsman's channel, I think for 11 years with different shows from all variety. He went from producing to actually being on air talent. And so I called him, and then it turned out he worked at Boeing out of St. Louis. And I was like, holy cow. So it was just happened that, we loved hunting, we loved being outdoors, but we also love, cars and motorcycles and planes. And we had the kind of the same talents and assets that we could use, with communication. I'm not a big math guy, but I can communicate a lot better. So, he works with his team, I worked with my team, and we kind of get it all going and, use our strengths to be productive. So that was one of the biggest things that helps. I never did internships like Devin has, but those were the connections that we made.
Awesome.
Well, that is the end of our time. So I just want to thank all of you for coming out this evening and sharing that great information. For the students who joined us, I do want to let you know that when you exit, there will be a quick 4-question survey, and we would appreciate your feedback. And then I just want to remind everybody that this session has been recorded and will be available at moacac.org. So that's all for this evening, and we wish you a wonderful evening, and take care.
Thank you.